Welcome back to my long quest New Horizons. I'm dear darling. As you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. What have I been up to today, you might ask? Nothing all that exciting, just, actually starting the drawing of the thumbnail art for year 3, rather than just sort of planning out and conceptualising. I'm actually, sketching it, I suppose. And I've only done 3 characters so far, so it's going a bit slow. I would certainly say, but it'll be certainly, hopefully done by the actual date of when the celebration for the year actually comes to a close. When is that actually? What day are we on? Hold on, 715. That's like 350? Really? We only have 10 days left? That doesn't seem right. No, 15 days left. Hello there, everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 5:29 PM on Thursday, March 10th, 2022. Kicks is here. Yeah, 365 times 2, that's 730, right? Yeah, okay, so we have 2 weeks left, basically, for me to finish this. I'm going to try and get most of it done. Maybe not most of it done. I'm going to try at least get the entire sketch, refined sketch, done today, which is hopefully the aim. And then the other video, which I'm planning for the anniversary, is, slowly going underway. It's actually, the recording is not going to take very long. It's just for the planning for it. But the research, I suppose, back into it is going to be the thing that takes the most time, but it won't actually take too long, hopefully. But yeah, apart from that, I've just been casually watching some streams as I've been playing. Not playing, sorry, drawing. Have not been playing, the one I was watching, I don't know if we want any of these. That is adorable, let's buy this. The one I was watching was, of course, Novice 9, as per usual, but he's playing Elden Ring, which, if you don't know, is a new Souls-like game in the Dark Souls series. Well, it's not part of a Dark Souls series, I don't think, but it's just from, like, the same sort of genre and the same sort of company. I should remember who makes it off the top of my head, but I don't, so this is where you go to Google Dark Souls and see who develops it. From Software, that's it. For some reason in my head it was like from NCSoft, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure NCSoft is a different company. What do NCSoft even make? Something wrong's on it. It's a South Korean. They make... Let's see, is that Harvest Island? Oh, they make Guild Wars! Anyway, I was watching a bit of Northern Lion playing a bit of, not Guild Wars, Elden Ring. Which is basically just a really difficult sort of, I'm not sure, action RPG? Is that the genre it's classified as? Probably something like that. But he was doing something differently rather than actually progressing the story, because I don't pay that much attention to actually what's going on. But, oh, perfectly honest, I'm just kind of a commentary and something to have nicely on in the background. Something familiar, I suppose. Is that another Capitoline wolf? It's a fake one, but, I suppose we'll buy it anyway. Luckily for you, Red, I won't get angry at this one because you already gave us a very legitimate one, not but 2 days ago. And you must think me a fool for buying another fake one just so soon after you sold me the actual legitimate one. But let me think what I was going to say, because I can't really recall what I was going to say. Oh yeah, he was playing, not a different mode per se, but it was like, there's a thing you can do in the game, which I assume something you can do in... maybe the previous Dark Souls, I don't actually know. I've never actually played a Dark Souls game, you might believe it or not, and there's a lot of games out there which I haven't played. But you can basically be like, oh, I'm going to go help out some other people, by basically being like, hey, if you... there's a mechanic in the game where if you need help, you can summon spirits, I think it's called. And then other people who are basically wanting to help out others can like be summoned as a spirit to go take on earlier bosses. And he was basically doing that for some... people who wanting help on this very difficult boss, and I was like, oh, that seems like a really fun sort of thing to do. I like it when games have that sort of thing where where you're more an experienced player and you can help out a much newer player at the game. And those sort of mechanics, I suppose, perhaps they appeal more specifically to my sensibilities, despite the fact I don't actually use them all often. I'll be perfectly honest. A lot of the time it's, I suppose. I'm trying to think, I haven't played many games where that's really the case in the first place. I think it's much more of a case in MMORPGs, but a lot of the times I haven't invested a huge amount of time in MMORPGs for me to be considered like, oh, I'm like a really good person or not. I'm just kind of like, I've been a scrub or a rookie most of the time. But I do have a memory of like, this used to be this MMORPG I used to play called Grand Fantasia. I don't know if it's still going on. I think it's still going okay. Getting updates. Can't imagine too many people are playing it nowadays, but you might ask, why did I start playing it? I started playing it because this old YouTube channel called like MMO Hut or something. Is it MMO Hut? I think so. They used to cover like a load of different MMOs, and I randomly stumbled across one of their videos and I saw Grand Fantasia and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this game. I honestly have no idea why. Not really much of a reason at all. But I played it and, you know, had a good time with it, and nostalgic time, I suppose, or perhaps being the best way to describe it I had with it. And I remember there's the first dungeon in the game you come across is one called Prairie Cave, which is one that me and I played with another one of my friends. We were just like, we couldn't do, and you know, the looking for group sort of like queues in that game were not great. Because there wasn't a queue, you just sort of had to go into the chat and be like, hey, anyone want to do this? And of course, because it's such a beginner level dungeon, I don't think many people particularly did. So what my friend did, we just started randomly adding high level people in like the big city nearby, and then like just seeing if any of them will accept like adding like requesting to join party. And then for some reason, I don't know what compelled this person to do it, but this very nice paladin lady, she actually, or it might have been a berserker lady, I can't remember, accepted the invitation. She was like level 50 or 60, and the Prairie Cave, you're meant to be like level 20 or 30, I can't remember off the top of my head, to actually do it. And I think it must have been around 20 or something. And she was just like, hey, why have you added me? Do you need something? And then we were just like, can you help us to clear Prairie Cave? And she was like, sure. And she just like came with us to Prairie Cave, just like not one-shotted all the bosses, but just like soloed the entire all the bosses while we sort of just stood around watching. And cleared it for us. And then, you know, as soon as we were done, we were just like, oh, thank you very much, that's very helpful. And she was like, no problem. And she just disappeared into the night. Does she still play the game? I don't know. Do I remember her name? Absolutely not. But if that story sounds familiar to you, then credit to you for being one of the people out there helping rookies and new players, I suppose, get into the game, helping them out in these sort of situations. Now, ideally in those sort of situations, it'd be easy for players to find new players, to find a party of other new players to actually do the dungeon in. But for some reason, whenever we did it, no one else wanted to do it, or something. And probably part of the fact that Grand Plantation never really had that large a player base in the first place, so that probably made things a little bit difficult, I might say. But that always holds like I suppose, I'm not sure if I should say a special memory, because it's not like I do it and it's like, wow, that was like, I guess it's sort of like a token gesture of kindness from like a random stranger when you play a game. But they were just, you know, willing to take out the time, like, even though it wasn't like a huge amount of their time, it's not like doing the easiest dungeon in the game is going to take particularly long for a reasonably high leveled like warrior or whatever. It was sort of like a wow, you know, I feel honoured, and you know, it's just as a sort of goodwill from a much more experienced player in the game to extend down to not so experienced players, I suppose. And whenever games have those as things you can do, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, to be honest. Like I was looking at Elden Rings, and when I was watching Elden Ring, and I was like, oh, that should be a mechanic which is in more games, but I can't really think of a game where that really happens much apart from MMORPGs. And I tried to think of MMORPGs in MMORPGs. I, you know, tried to help out other people, and I did when I could, but a lot of times, of course, you know, I wasn't particularly super high leveled. I didn't play MMORPGs all that often, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. So I'm just trying to think of times where I did actually just like, you know, help out people in that sort of like content, people who are newer to the game. I can't really think of a time, which is a bit of a shame, I suppose. I probably must have. You know, a thing I used to do actually in some MMORPGs, since I always used to play healers, if you're just in the wild, I sort of go running around healing people, other players that I see in the wild and that sort of thing. I remember there was this MMORPG I used to play called Windsail, which was basically, no, no, I think it was Windsail, I don't know. It was basically MapleStory, is probably how I describe it, and I used to play healer, and I used to just like, you know, of course, when I was grinding out things of that sort of thing, if I saw someone like low on health, or low on mana as well, because for some reason in that game, the clerics could restore mana, and to other players, you know, I'd just go up and heal them. That game had a very interesting way of healing, because the heals were all skill shots that fired in the line, so you could actually get huge amounts of heals and mana heals off if your like entire party basically stood in the line in front of you for you to heal them. I did that in Grand Plantation as well, to be fair. I suppose that's the closest I'd get to those sort of extending the olive branch down from the higher rungs, the higher tiers of a tree. But I thought it was just like a really nice thing in Elden Ring. And I was like, I wish I could do that in more of my games. So when I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute, I could do that in Genshin. Well, that's a game I actually play particularly often. And I am actually, you know, quite a high level now in Genshin. I have pretty like geared out characters and that sort of thing. I could just help new players if they needed help with that something, and it just basically never occurred to me. Mainly because Genshin co-op is kind of like a bit of a nuisance, like the amount of loading screens you had to go to. I was like, so you know, it was my new resolve, but I'm gonna try and help out some new players, I suppose, when I start playing the game. When I do my dailies and log into video dailies, and I feel like, oh, I feel like doing a little bit more right now. Why not just, you know, go into the co-op mode, seek out new players who are just like looking for help or looking for assistance, and I'll be like, join the thing, let me help you, that sort of thing. And if no one's looking for assistance, then it's fine as well, you know. If only there's an easy way. But there should definitely be a thing of that sort of thing where you can just be like, oh, you can flag yourself as being like someone who needs help with X boss, XYZ boss, or whatever. But alas. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, like, obviously, and I mean, I'm probably not going to play Elden Ring before you get your hopes up. But I don't imagine many people do get their hopes up. It doesn't really seem like my sort of game. I've never played any Dark Souls games, so I'd imagine I'd be quite a scrub about that sort of thing. But and perhaps I would be the one who would need to call on the help of not poor unfortunate souls, very kind souls, to help me complete the stuff that I was stuck on, or I would be stuck on. But I think that's just a cool mechanic to put in the game, you know. Very much sort of drives the social element of a game, which, you know, I do appreciate, you know. And well, what's it? It's like battles for types of players or things. You know, you got like killers, you got explorers, achievers, and socializers. I'm trying to think of how to make that now. And nowadays I'm much more of like an explorer and socializer type. Definitely when I was younger, I used to be an achiever. And that sort of aspect. But now I'm just like, I'm just here to sort of vibe. You know, have good times. And yeah, I suppose, you know, that would be a great way to do such a thing. And honestly, I think most of it should be on me. I suppose to take the initiative in that sort of sense to actually get some of this stuff done. Because I mean, the systems are there in a lot of games, I'm sure. It's just, you know, I just don't take advantage of them because they end up being a nuisance. But I'm like, wait a minute, but I like doing it. Why am I not doing it? It's a sort of nonsensical thing that I just don't do, I suppose, just due to like inertia, if anything. Hot item, plant tree, plant fruit tree, and grow a sapling, plant a sapling, which will get done. So I'm trying to think right now when other games which have done that sort of thing. Because I feel like I have quite a few good memories of like good players in the past, basically helping me out when I was new to a game. Like there's this game called Bloody Trapland, which is basically this incredibly devilish platforming, very very hardcore, sort of like masochistic hardcore platformer, which, you know, it's reasonably fun. I think it's a Bloody Trapland 2 or whatever, which I was playing some friends with, and we were like having our own private lobby, and one random person just he randomly just joined our lobby. And we were just kind of like, how did you join? Yeah, we had a password on and everything. He just guessed the password, which is just utterly incredible. To be fair, it's not a very difficult password to guess. It's kind of like, you know, the password was like, I'm trying to think of something which would be equivalent. But the password was kind of like, bacon. It's kind of like on that sort of level. Obviously it wasn't bacon. Just in case I ever make some lobbies in the future, and I'm just like, oh, you know, I don't want random people to join. He just randomly joined, and he was pretty good, and, you know, he played through the levels when we got stuck or whatever, and he was very courteous as well, you know. He always got to the end, or when he got to the end, he always, what is that? Is that a goatee? It might be a goatee. Whenever he got to the end, he would always wait and be like, hey, do you want me to finish the level? And a lot of times we were like, yeah, because we actually done these levels before, but it just didn't save our progress, which is a bit of a shame, if anything. Because that's a game we played a lot of. Wow, look at these bright and vibrant colours. A lot of times we had actually played it quite a lot. We did actually get to the very final level of the game. We probably have a Shamrock stage headmaster. Whoa. We actually got to the very final level of the game, and we just, you know, gave up and just like never played for like ages until we finally went back to it, and it was like, oh, our progress has gone. What a shame. And you know, that guy was just a cool dude. That guy was a cool dude. Is all I can really say about that. I'm trying to think of other times. I don't know. It really depends on the game to really sort of encourage that sort of social aspect, I suppose, to it. And not many games do. And I don't blame them because, you know, when it comes to a game with any sort of social aspect, you sort of have to manage the social toxicity that can come along with it. And actually, now I think about it, I don't think any game probably epitomises this concept any less anymore. Whatever the one which would have made sense in that context would be then Journey. I've never actually played Journey, but that's what I hear a lot about it. It's basically you're sort of like wandering through a desert, and then you match up with a random person, essentially, and then you can't even communicate with each other. Like, there's no like in-game voice chat or anything like that. You might even, I don't even think you know the identity of the person you're playing with. They're just literally a random person you just play, and then like, whoa. You have to like work out and solve problems and stuff together, and I'm like, oh, that's adorable. At least that's the sort of impression I get from the game. I don't actually know if that's how it plays because I've never actually played it. I don't even think I own it, which is crazy. I'm like, oh, nowadays I'm just like, oh, that sort of thing speaks to me. Celeste is here, so that means she's going to be visiting our island. If I remember to actually look for her past. When does Celeste appear? Is it past 6 p.m? Because that will actually probably be during this video. Hold on, let's see. It might be 9 p.m. I forget. New Horizons, Celeste. If it's 6 p.m, then we good. New Horizons, not quotes. What does she do? Not in Dolbits and Amori. Oh, after 7 p.m. Okay, no. So if I remember to actually log on, we can actually get Celeste's recipe that she'll give us. I can't believe it. I feel like she should visit more often, you know, and this sort of thing. I feel like it's only recently it was the first time we've ever seen her actually in the Roost, which is crazy. So let's have a chat with her. Being nocturnal made it easy to fall in love with the stars. Daytime only has one star, gaudy and overbearing. The night has countless graceful lovelies. Especially if she ever received pronunciation accent, I think about it. Ah, this takes me back. Brewster had a cafe in a museum where oh no, we already read out all your dialogue lines, haven't we? Everybody's so starry-eyed, and nobody knows. I'm trying to think, has this happened more in other MMORPGs I played? Or other MMOs? I mean, I played a lot of League of Legends, I suppose. Has that really happened? Like, I've never really been an expert, I suppose, in League of Legends. I mean, I guess it happened more in TFT. Kind of. Like, TFT, which is, if you don't know, is the auto battle offshoot of League of Legends. And based off well, not based off it, is using the League of Legends IP, I suppose, of course, still made by Riot Games. Excuse me, I started choking there. Back when I used to play, but this was back in Season 1, I actually got pretty good, and I got, no, did I not? I might have not hit Master in Season 1, now I think about it. It might have been Season 3.5 I hit Master, I can't actually remember. But I got to like Diamond 1, I got so close to hitting Master, now I think about it in Season 1, but I just couldn't do that last push to actually make it. But I remember in my climb in Season 1, I was playing like this comp, I think it was like a shapeshifter comp, when the shapeshifters weren't even meta or anything. And then one of the people like asked me, like, what are the strategy, or like, how do I actually play this comp, because like, they tried it before and they never got any sort of success with it, and I was like, I feel bad because at the time I was like, I've legitimately no idea. I've sort of just like made it up in this game, which is, you know, a very non-helpful answer. You know, if I could turn back time and I was forced to turn back time to exactly that moment. Because heavens knows if I turn back time, there are probably much better moments to turn it back to rather than that one. I'd turn back time to that and be like, you know, this is what the advice I can give you. I'm not an expert on it, so please bear that in mind. You know, it could be like, oh, because it's not very meta comp right now, it's very uncontested, so the units are very easy to get. I won't, you know, force a comp, but if I find myself, a lot of the times the units end up falling into your lap. And if you can do that, then you should go for it, because then it makes the units easy. The units are a lot easier to 3-stars. Prioritize health, because they got a lot of health back from when they transform, if I recall. So Warmogs is a really good item, etc., etc. You know, things like that. Even if I tend to doubt myself a lot, I suppose. If I don't see myself as being like which, you know, I suppose is all the time, as being like an absolute expert in something, and I feel like advice is not warranted for me. Like I shouldn't be giving out advice, because I suppose I could make mistakes. Not I can make mistakes, more like there's no point in me doing it because it's not undeserved per se, but more like I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about. But of course, you know, it's the wrong sort of attitude to take, and like, you know, people don't ask for advice being like, I want legitimately just a correct answer. They want to see your perspective, I suppose, and how you got your own success and doing something X, Y, Z or whatever. So, you know, nowadays I feel like I'm much more, not, well, I mean, yes, receptive, I suppose, but also more open to, like, sharing advice to what I can do, doing what I can to help, you know, because I do like helping people when I can, of course. You know, self-doubt just, you know, is a bit of a nuisance, I suppose, which gets in the way of that sometimes. Yeah, I think more games, well, I shouldn't say more games, because it obviously doesn't fit every single game in existence, but it would be really cool to see a lot of games actually feature that sort of assist mode, I suppose, a lot more often. I'm trying to think through what games I've played recently which would make sense. It really has to be some sort of large-scale game, you know, things like these Dark Souls games, these MMOs, things where you can have actually like a sort of sense of progression to it, I suppose, in the first place. Otherwise, you know, it's a little bit sort of a moot point. I don't know, it's why I look at games I've played, and perhaps I could comment on that sort of thing. Like Death's Door would be an interesting one to do if you could help out people. I would have certainly done that, like, at least would have tried it out for a little bit as I was progressing through. Ori could have been interesting. I feel like a lot of the difficulty in Ori comes down to the platforming, and the fun is in exploration, not necessarily the combat. But I don't know, your mileage may vary. Because I don't know, I guess a lot of the games I play tend to be story based. I mean, Celeste would be interesting. I don't know how that would work, to be particularly honest. And these puzzle games, it's not really you can jump back and help people with. But I mean, like, technically I've had, you know, I've helped some of my friends, you know, yeah, I've given hints to them as they played Bad Boys U, etc. Yeah, the rest of these are just puzzle games. That makes it quite difficult. Bug fables, I guess, technically, but wow, I've played through a lot of games, huh? Kind words? That doesn't really make sense. Yeah, perhaps I just don't play the sort of games which have that as much of a mechanic. So perhaps it is a lot more common. You know, if I played much more of action RPGs. I don't know why it doesn't work until much later. Perhaps if I played more action RPGs like Dark Souls or, you know, Bloodborne, Takedo, etc., etc., it'd be something which would hold more weight for me, I suppose. I could actually be a bit more useful with. And actually give helpful advice and helpful, not attitude, what's the word? Like, helpful assistance, that's the word. I was like, attitude's not the right word, but it's something similar to what I wanted. Yar, I don't know what else. Well, you know what I did want to do? Let's just do this a little bit quickly. I just want to take a little bit of picture of this. You know, no big reason. Don't read into it too much. It's for a reference. For fun like that. Let's not be too coy about it, otherwise you're going to be very confused. What should we do then? We got about 5 to 8 minutes left. We don't need to do any of that stuff. First we could put stuff away. You know what? Let's go hunting around for fossils again. Wait, do we even give Pecan a fossil? And she gave us a groovy tunic. Is that right? I don't know. I should have actually paid a bit more attention to that sort of thing. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. Something, 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 something out of you. Happy to see you. Oh, apparently we've already given you a thing. Sorry, Pecan. I was going to say maybe we should get some fossils, but we've already got 2 fossils, so perhaps we don't really need to do that. What's this Discord message? What on earth is going on? I'm trying to think. What can we do? I suppose we can start decorating, but start thinking about what we're doing. I've got too much Animal Crossing stuff on my brain already. You know what I do need to do? I wonder if you can get like 3D models of the Animal Crossing villages. I don't need the 3D models, but it'd be nice to have sort of turnarounds of the villages so I can actually see what they look like. Let's see. New Horizons 3D villager models? Animal Crossing 3D models. I guess a lot of people have model these sort of things. This is Sasha? What on earth? I mean, these aren't particularly accurate, shall we say. Oh, it's adorable. Someone made a moth villager. I'm on Sketchfab, by the way. I'm sort of just looking through these sort of things. What? a lot of fan-made Animal Crossing villages are honestly very cute. Why was so much anchor? What's going on? Okay, no, hold on. Because I just need like a... Because some villages I'm drawing from a different angle, and it's quite difficult to figure out exactly what they look like. Oh well. I mean, I should just collect my own references, but what do I know? I don't know. I'm just going to round up this episode here. I don't really have much to talk about, I'm going to be perfectly honest. So yeah, I don't know. Assistance mode? I don't know what I'm going to title this video. I suppose that'll be a surprise for me. But for now, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.